Alfred from Shaftesbury.
From midday today, the Met Office has issued a yellow rain warning effective until 3 o'clock Friday morning. Tollard Royal villagers will be watching the forecast nervously. Teams of locals have been on duty on the B3081 road through the village, encouraging drivers to drop their speed. They've also been bailing out properties being flooded as cars create a bow wave of water, putting listed buildings at risk. Villagers are urging drivers to find another route across the Chase, suggesting that the lane pass the Lammetry rather than the road to Handley, as they fear a repeat of the 2014 disaster that saw a traditional cob cottage built from earth, water and straw collapse. Joel O'Connor's home has been flooded.
And the big problem is, so I'm watching right now as I speak to you, and there's a car thinking he's doing the right thing by keeping to probably the speed limit at near 20, but he's going past a 17th century building that is made of cob, and it's a vulnerable building. It's being splashed with these waves each time someone goes past at that sort of speed. You've got to really crawl past. And so we're having traffic management is a real problem, and it can be a very busy road. And it's not safe to drive on. There's some very big potholes. So we really are telling people to try and stay, to avoid driving through Tollard Royal for the next few days.
It's the bottom of the village, furthest away from Shaftesbury, past the Tollard's TARDIS, the red phone box, where the issue's happening.
But it's down here on the flat where the road bends around the corner and heads towards Sixpenny Handley. It's that bit, and it's a very narrow road, and there are houses and homes close to it.
People often associate flooding with rising water levels in streams and rivers, and unless you live in an area like the Cranbourne Chase where there's groundwater flooding, you may not consider it to be an issue in places like Tollard Royal.
It's the groundwater that's rising up, that's right. And it's rushing off the hills because we're at the bottom of the valley. So it's coming through the chalk hills, and the water table's risen so high.
And the way in which groundwater works, this could continue even days after rainfall has stopped.
That's right.
I mean, what can you do about it? I mean, you can encourage people to slow down, but have you spoken to Wiltshire Council?
We've been trying obviously they're under great stress at the moment. I'm sure there's a lot of flooding across the southwest. But we are trying through all those channels to try and get them here to, we're trying to get them to close the road. And that would be the best thing that they could do at the moment. And failing that, then we need to have a lot more lights, flashing lights, warning signs, showing people how they can navigate through it safely.
There is already a reduced speed limit through Tollard.
People do find it hard to keep to the 20. We do get, but very few people keep to the speed limit in Tollard these days. I guess everyone's in a rush, and if it looks clear, people are unaware of the impact it can have on the immediate environment. There is a reason why it's 20 miles an hour.
I mean, if people are sticking to 20, is it still creating a problem?
20 through this narrow part is not good for us at all, because with the water level, it's in millimeters. It's the difference between a carpet ruined or a carpet saved. There's all of that sort of thing. It's very, very difficult to manage. So to try and get the water pumped out and to deal with these issues as they arise, it's made all the more difficult with the road as an operational road, shall we say. We get some big trucks through every hour, and they often keep the speed limit, but they also often move very quickly.
Joel is particularly worried about the impact on an ancient and listed property.
It's a bow wave right across the front of my neighbour's house. And in 2014, it fell down. And the road was closed, I believe, for quite an extended period. It was exactly the same situation. It was the bow wave hitting the house that caused the degradation of the cob. And so the whole thing collapsed and fell into the street. And I can tell you, the entire village has been working to save this place today. with bailing out where they can, saving sandbags, doing absolutely everything we can, trying to manage the traffic. There were maybe 30 people from the community in this particular area of the village today, trying to avoid this same thing happening, this house falling down again. I'm opposite that house. So we've got a flooding problem, but it's not quite so bad. And now the front of our building's not being doused with masses of waves.
So are your volunteers, are they still trying to get the water out that's irrespective of any traffic? Is there still an issue before the traffic comes, or is it the traffic that's the major issue?
Well, the traffic's the major issue because it's filling up with the bits that are being bailed from the other side of the house. So as the traffic comes through, there's a low wall, and the bow wave goes over the wall and across the front of the building. And that goes down, and then that's causing the problem further back in the building as well. But that's where the pumps are, and that's where they're trying to manage the level of the water.
I mean, when it closed the road 12 years ago, it was closed for a while.
Yeah.
It kind of split the village in two. Are villagers okay about that?
That was closed because the house fell down. So what we want to do is avoid that situation having to happen and just close the road now so that the building doesn't fall down and the village can manage the inundation, the deluge, and just get this behind us, and then we won't have such a problem.
Have you spoken to Wiltshire Council? Have you got any sense of whether they could do this or are willing to close the road?
I did speak to I spoke to a rather lovely lady at the highway after hours. They're very keen to help, but they just definitely were listening to what we were saying. And they were aware that there were risks of so many people being working around in these conditions. The volunteers, the health and safety people got a bit worried at one stage with so many people in such a narrow area.
As far as everyday people are concerned, you just want people to use the Farnham Road and not go through Tollard.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Use the Farnham Road, avoid Tollard, and give us a week or so, and hopefully it'll be all back to normal without too much disaster.
That's Joel O'Connor. He wants you to drop your speed if you have to drive on the B3081 through Tollard Royal, but ideally use the Llama-Tree Road. We've made contact with Wiltshire Council. We'll let you know what they say. The problem, highlighted by Wendy Scott, who's posted on Alfred's Facebook page after seeing this message, and she says the Llama-Tree Road is so badly degraded and full of potholes, she reckons no one in their right mind would choose that road unless you have to. Maybe closing the 3081 then is the option to force people to use it. We'll keep you posted.